just get a volume reference. So first thing we see is that Europe is much bigger than I even thought. It's 500 million people, 27 countries, 23 official languages, without counting all those languages that are not considered national, like maybe Catalan or Alsatian. So we have many more languages that are spoken here. We usually compare ourselves to the US, so we have to compare to the US. The US has about 300 million people, just one single country, one official language, although there's others that are spoken, and that may be official at local level. And it's more or less a 60% of the European population, just so that you get an idea. We're talking internet, so we're talking about dilution of borders. We're talking about going across borders and forgetting about countries. So we thought it may be interesting to do a comparison of Europe against one of the most spoken languages in the world, and which is the country, it's the language of the country we're staying at. It's Spanish. There's 450 million people speaking Spanish in the world. But the thing is that 450 million are spread across different countries and different continents and have very different cultural realities. We've done an estimate of how many blogs are there in Europe. It's been quite hard. It's not easy to count the blogs, even to define the blogs. What is a blog? How do we find out what we're reading is a blog or not? But the thing is that the estimate is about 15 million blogs, which is quite big. If we compare that to the data we used before for Europe, it gives that there's about 2% of the European population would have a blog. The more active countries blogging in Europe are France, the UK, Poland, Spain, and Finland. And when we talk about the European blogosphere, it's a debate that has not been solved, something that we keep on discussing about, a bit controversial. It's an ongoing debate and it's very controversial. Usually what I've seen is that when I read blogs that are discussing the European blogosphere, there's always a lot of comments. And they tend to heat up a little bit. And we're going to show a video now from Nicole Simon, who is a German blogger. We met she was recorded here at the Evento Blog España in Seville in November. And we took this video from one of these posts that really got some conversation going.
I think we have a lot of different European countries, and in most cases we really have local languages. So, for example, I do also sometimes blog again in German, especially when it's German topics. I tend to blog in English, something of the European or the international sphere. So, though we have a lot of people speaking English and reading English, we are torn between our country and what we do in our language or languages, and at the same time we have what is happening in the international sphere. So we are here in Eve, and somebody said actually...
Eve, we are in Sevilla, it's a European blog event. But
somebody said on the Twitter wall, as like we don't have an idea about Europe, how can we have an idea about the European blogosphere, for example?
Yeah, though we speak about...
So this... I really like that the last phrase that he had, we don't have a real idea about Europe, do we have it about the European blogosphere? I think it's something we could keep for the debate afterwards. And one of the things we've looked at is just, we've taken one of the many rankings that exist about blogs in Europe to try to get an idea of what is the top 10 like. And you see here it's Wikios ranking, we put the top 10 blogs, and you see that 6 of them talk politics, 4 of them talk technology, which was a bit surprising for me, I have to say. And then when you see the language spread, it's quite interesting. It's 3 of them are in English, 3 of them are in Spanish, 2 of them are in German, 1 in Italian, and 1 in French. So if we look at and take a look at the first 3, you see that the first one, it's an English blog, and it talks about politics. Second one is blog written in German, and it also talks politics. And then the third one, it's a blog written in Italian that talks politics, and that it's published by a traditional press media. We come now to the part where we're going to talk about the survey that was coordinated by Jonan Bastel. We have there taking pictures. And this study is not a scientific study. This is about, it's all about the perception that the people coming to the campus party had about blogging. It was sent out to the people that, to all the bloggers that we invited. And we tried to get really an idea of what they thought their own media was. There's no conclusions attached to it. I think much more interesting than having the conclusions is having your opinions, having your conclusions and your vision of the phenomenon. So without further delay, what do they talk about? According to this, 49% talk about technology. It's quite surprising when you compare it with what we just saw before from Wikio. You see that here politics is tied with gossip and celebrities, and there's a very big difference with the number of blogs that would be talking technology. When we talk about the age of blogs, over 60% have more than 3 years. So they're quite stable. But professional bloggers, it seems that they exist. At least we believe they exist. I don't know if you know a lot of them, but we do think as bloggers that they exist. There's people living in our countries, living out of blogging. 55% know of blog networks in the country, which is related to the professional blogging, I think, and it's quite interesting. And then what we see is that most people use their real name when they're blogging. So they don't hide beyond anonymity or behind an alias.